This episode of Philly by Night is brought to you by the Church of Cain. The Church of Cain, why choose the lesser of two evils?
I mean, the church is set is right there.
I really feel like Mithras should be a part of this conversations.
You would.
Michael misses you all.
He needs space child support.
Dude, he does.
And we are live.
Hello, 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 everybody, and welcome once again to another episode of Philly by Night, our Emissaries edition. We are here at episode 2 for season 3. And tonight, our saviors or controllers, we're really not quite sure yet of the Lehigh Valley. We'll be meeting with some of the city's emerging powers. The Lehigh Valley has had individuals already fleeing from the Lehigh Valley into Philadelphia. Most notably among them are several Toreador who were favorites of the previous administration. So, who woke up with a gangrel start?
I did.
Yeah, you did.
Very, very hangry there. But we took care of it with our herd.
Yes, you did. Absolutely brilliant. But you were on Hunger 3, which in Philly by Night means you had a daymare.
Awesome.
So, you start to kind of wake up for the day. And there is a feeling that Dr. Beck has not had since they were alive. They can't move. They're awake. Their mind is going, their mind is sending the correct signals to their muscles, and their muscles are not responding. Useless. Is the voice a voice Dr. Beck recognizes?
Most intimately.
Useless child. Is this what I created you for? To starve? To be the good Samaritan? Come now.
Starve, yes. But I'm my own person.
No. You are my person. My shadow. My child. Fix it. And then the apparent sleep paralysis breaks. And the voice just seems to have poofed. Although the beast in your head really is hungry, so you do call those couple of members of your herd just to get the hunger down.
I had no patience today.
No patience. Someone had a very diplomatic start to the night. Yes, right, Mr. Farrow. You woke up. Hunger? What is hunger? That's not a thing.
I tend to think of it more of when you've learned to control yourself, you learn to control your appetites as well.
Well, except you're a Ventrue. Can you ever really control the appetite?
If I can't control myself, how could I control anyone else?
Pretty easily, actually. Dominates a thing?
Yeah, but then there's the problem of free will. It's important.
It's only a problem if you care.
I still do.
Ew. Sharky! You woke up. You got hungry. Kinda. You made the responsible choice for once and went to slake your hunger. How'd that go, by the way? I'm not hearing you, Sharky.
Oh, I was muted. It was rough. I picked out a target, somebody who owed me money as usual. But this guy just wasn't getting what I was saying. I was saying it was gonna take his house and his car and his legs, and he just really wasn't getting it. So I had to lay it on really thick. Potentially it's just a tad bit self-incriminating, and it really frustrated me for a good period of time. But eventually he got the hint. I I really need to stop loaning money to actual idiots.
Well done, Sharky. Mr. Vanguard, how was your evening?
Pretty good.
Woo!
Little hungry, but that's fine.
Yeah, you can like that. It's fine.
Yeah,
It's not a problem.
no, not at all.
So you all are headed into what used to be the Elysium. The last time you were there, it was completely filled with Toreador doing various art projects. Now it's empty in a way that's almost eerie. There are sounds of footsteps, but nothing there. Sounds of wings, but you don't really see what's making the sounds. And a group of 3 individuals sitting around a very, we'll just say the room was not Bruja-proof. One of them is a woman who appears to have a tablet in her lap. One of them is another femme-presenting individual who is shuffling cards. And the last is a rather tall gentleman who stares at you with the eyes of madness. What is your reaction?
Someone lost their temper.
Is that out loud?
Does not think it is. Whistle, obviously, but does not think the thoughts out loud. But the
Oh.
thoughts definitely out loud.
You you hear from the man a kind of 3-whistle chirp, that quick beep, 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 which seems to command the attention of the two femmes flanking him.
Yeah, the blonde one in the green suit, the multicolored necklaces and rings will still, as the cards seem to slip out of their hand into a pocket and back into their right hand again.
Where the dark-haired woman is painstakingly typing something out on the tablet in her lap. Hello. Who are you?
Well, howdy there, ma'am. I'm Dr. Beck, and this is my good compatriot, Sharky, and Mr. Ashton, and Mr. Farrow.
Pleasure to meet you.
I would like a wits and awareness, please. Sharky and Dr. Beck, you may both take an extra die. You'll find out why.
I don't like that. I don't like it when you give me something extra. That's usually a bad sign. Ooh, 4.
2.
Let's see.
6. Critical.
Okay. Sorry, I'm struggling to get the freaking dice roller open. So if y'all wouldn't mind popping it into chat for me also until I figure out my computer, that would be great. So, my 2s, that lady has a very obvious scar on her neck. Sharky, that woman has a scar on her neck that looks like the same one the gangrel had, the other gangrel. What did they call them again? Oh, that's right, the silenced. Dr. Beck, someone went in with whatever crude surgical tool they could and slit this woman's throat before sealing the brand. To make the scarification permanent.
Dr. Beck's going to clench their fists when noticing that and grit their teeth. Then let out a calming exhale.
Was that a threat? The voice is actually coming out of the tablet in her lap.
I do apologize, ma'am. The opposite, in fact. I am more infuriated on your behalf for the butchery that was done upon you.
You are from Philadelphia, then?
Yes, ma'am, it does appear so. At least that's where I currently reside.
Ah.
We are relatively recent arrivals.
Funny. Folks seem to be flowing in the exact opposite direction these nights. And let's see here. For my 6s and my 4s, you will watch the man's hands flex. You'd be aware that that is some form of sign language. Maybe not ASL, but he is communicating silently with the dark-haired woman.
Do 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 do.
I'll mentally note it, but that's it.
Sharky's not dumb enough to mention it. Like, yeah, Sharky. Mm-mm.
And the blonde femme individual is just doing fancy little in the air card shuffling and watching you all.
We're here to. We've been sent to try to aid in building this place back up, as the loss of y'all's leadership has caused an influx towards us, and it seems as if a bit of infighting in the area, and so we were here to help y'all out, as it were.
All of that implies that you actually need help, which, honestly, I'm not entirely certain you do. But should you require any form of assistance, we would be willing to offer it.
Sent by who?
We were sent. How does Sharky want to phrase this? Oh no.
You got it.
We're good Samaritans. We were sent by the tower, but we were given a choice whether or not we wanted to come by. We chose to take up the mantle.
I think it's more the influx. Apparently they're having an issue with. That's all. So maybe if we can help y'all settle things, they don't get so much newbies in there.
Right. And he'll point it at Ian. So you're the face. He'll point at Dr. Beck. You're the brains. And then he'll point between Sharky and Ashton. And I'm willing to bet the two of you are either the money or the muscle.
Well, you've got me wrong there. I'm too naive and recent, some would say green, to be a face. I am intern at best.
Yeah, but you talk real good. The tower don't send folk who talk real good that are just interns.
I have freelanced from time to time.
That's an interesting way of putting it there. Most of the ones I know that say they freelance from time to time play fast and loose with that hopscotch line the tower likes.
The tower's opinions do not guide my own. As I said, if you don't need assistance, we're more than willing to move on. But if you require something, we are on offer.
We were sent by the tower, but we are not necessarily of the tower.
Interesting.
You'll notice that in between quips and remarks, the man keeps glancing over to the dark-haired woman.
Mm-hmm.
We have given you the courtesy of our names. If at all possible, could we have the courtesy of yours? Or at least what you'd prefer to be called. I'd hate to leave here referring to you as Rugal, Mature, and Vice.
You can call me Holt.
I'm Lorelei.
It clearly takes an awful lot of effort, but you see the woman draw in a deep, unnecessary breath and release the word "hush" in a squeaking whisper.
Thank you.
I do appreciate the effort. It is a pleasure to make y'all's acquaintance, Mr. Holt.
And he just kind of
Yes, sir.
waves. Ain't no need for the mister.
I do apologize. It is a habit.
So I think you are probably in the best position to tell us what you need.
Well, let's see. There used to be a feller. It make a bloody case of bloodshine. Could use a crate of that stuff. Million feckin' dollars and the Queen's apology to my fair homeland for subjugating us for so many years.
I don't think it's asking for a lot, personally.
No, I don't think so at all.
Especially not the
second one,
bloodshot.
I think the first one, I'd have to talk to a few people. The third one, though, I'm afraid you're going to have to bring her back from the dead if you want that.
Shite, Holt, here. And she'll flip like a bill over towards him.
He'll gratefully take it, tuck it in his jacket pocket. So, and he looks at you all again, kind of regarding each of you up and down. So the tower sent you all down. You're all freelancers. You're willing to give us... And he gives this predatory grin, this toothy predatory grin. You can see the long, stout fangs distend. Help. What's in it for you?
Well, one, we fulfill our debts that have got us moving in our own ways. That is a reward in of itself. After all, even though we are not bound by rules, we are bound by our words. So when when debts are called in, we are forced to act in that way. That being said, that's the first thing. Secondly, stability is good for everyone. After all, there's always room for continual advancement in any given area. Um, if not money, then allies, friends, place where we can rest our head. It's much easier to do that in a stable city than in a city that is currently beset by infighting.
And he leans his elbows on his knees, kind of places one hand over the other. So, tell me a bit more about where it is you called home before here.
I traveled all over.
I'm talking about Philadelphia, sunshine.
Well, they needed some muscle, and after what they had done to many of my own clan, they needed more people like me. So I was dragged here, effectively. Again, more debts that I owed to bring me to Philadelphia. Paid those off, but in paying those off, I accrued more. I believe that's most of us here, though, except for Mr. Farrow. He hasn't accrued too many debts of my knowledge yet, but uh, tends to be what it is, going back and forth.
Debt and credit is the currency of our kind. Helping you pays off a debt that I owe. Assuming you even require that help. Again, if you were to tell me no, I could leave, say that my debt was paid, and it would be the easiest debt that I've ever paid off. But you wouldn't want to make it easy for me, would you?
So, and he kind of holds up his hand for a moment. I guess my question wasn't clear enough. Tell me more about your city. You're obviously from the tower, so your prince, your seneschal, and he goes down the list, and you get the distinct impression that this is a man who understands Camarilla politics, but holds himself apart from it.
I would love to give you a rundown of every primogen, every whip, every source of power you might be able to find. But as I said, alas, I'm too green for that. I haven't been here long enough.
And he'll look at the remainder of your cadre, just kind of appraising each of them.
I only know a few. Unfortunately, my clan recently had a shift. Our elders left. So, Clan Gangrel rests as it is. So, we don't quite have a structure anymore. The other groups, the other clans, they don't tend to keep me around for very long. So, though I know Mr. Vanguard is very well acquainted with the Roses, but only so far.
Indeed. They've got it together as much as they can, all things considered. The Primogen and the Whip take good care of the family, as it were. And so, couldn't ask for a better situation down there. I've been places where it was a literal shit show, and I've been places where it's been run like a smooth ship, and quite frankly, given all the bumps in the road that have happened, where you're trying to run a smooth ship as possible.
I just stick to
know
myself,
you.
and that's it.
She's going to stare directly at Mr. Vanguard. I know you.
Does Hush say that?
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
with the
Gotcha.
little pad.
Yeah. Well, where are my manners? When have we met?
By reputation.
Ah, my reputation does precede me, I suppose. It's a
You
pleasure
killed
to
him.
formulate. Yeah, totally by accident.
How exactly does one kill a prince by accident?
You know, most of us don't typically ash right away when staked. He had lost his temper at a party, and my compatriots got him mostly subdued, and when I went to stake him, just turned into an ash pile. I had no clue.
The natural way to stop a frenzy was apparently not the best plan.
Learned that for sure.
And the man's focus once again shifts over to the dark-haired woman with the pad. Real quick, Ian, Sharky, Dr. Beck, could you also give us a wits and insight, please?
I'm sorry. Out of character, the internet just dropped for me for a moment. What were you up to?
Oh, so the Ashton had kind of described that he killed the prince by accident. Holt was like, "How does one kill a prince by accident?" And they alluded to, "Oh well, you know, we didn't know he was going to ash when we staked him." And then Holt has once again turned his attention back to Hush.
What are we rolling for?
Wits and insight. So, my three. Well, we'll start at the bottom of the list. Number one success. You can see these three are. They seem to be doing a lot of flexing, fidgeting with their hands. The blonde woman is playing with cards. The man is kind of holding his hands in different positions as he's talking to you. The dark-haired woman appears to be fidgeting in kind. my number two, two successes. Ian, you notice that there is some kind of pattern to these fidgeting, because one will fidget, then the other will fidget, then the third will fidget, and there is that kind of rhythm where while one is fidgeting, the other two are not. For my three successes, Dr. Beck, this is similar to a sign language, a thieves' cant. They're communicating. There is an absolute linguistic pattern to these fidgets, these hand signals. So I'd be correct in assuming that so many of the folk that left here have found their way to your fair city?
I would say that's a fair assumption.
Well,
With all
given
the
that
trouble that might have caused along the way.
Given that y'all are the largest Camarilla domain, the closest, that's definite fair assumption. How much do you know about the political landscape of the Lehigh Valley?
Not enough.
Dr. Beck, there is not enough there to gain whether there is malevolent or benevolent intention, just that there is obvious communication.
Okay, that's all I needed.
Nobody appears to be posturing like they're getting ready to do anything violent. As a matter of fact, quite the opposite. The three of them seem very relaxed at the moment.
Although
Well,
if you are willing to educate me, I wouldn't mind.
Before I do, I got a question for the four of you. The Nas, will she give the refugees safe haven, succor, or will she demand trials?
in all fairness, that's none of my business. I have no idea.
I would not be surprised if it would depend on the individual. Most likely based on what is reported about them to her. She is a Nosferatu. It's very hard to keep secrets from her. Should she find individuals that are mostly free of crime, aside from what we do, she'd likely offer them succor. Should she find members of the old court who committed atrocities, she'd likely treat them however she'd likely shine a mirror upon their actions. But I cannot speak for her. She is her own kindred.
Not sure I could add much else to what's already been said.
So here in the Lehigh Valley, there are two very distinct groups. You got the haves and the have-nots. The haves were sucked up Prince Fairchild's backside. And he grins and looks between the two femme compatriots that are flanking him. However, now the have-nots have rule of the roost. So, what exactly is it that you can give us we ain't already got?
Hard to know that when we're not sure what you're lacking. And if you're not sure what you're lacking, then maybe that's something we can help with. An assessment, even.
Maybe there could be a thing you could help us with. And he'll pause for a moment, just kind of lean back, look over at the dark-haired femme. Yeah. Yeah, I think that might be called for. Now, if we was to give you a job, something to, we'll call it show good faith, you going to be demanding any territory here in our fair domain?
I don't have any need for territory. If, on the other hand, we were to do an exceedingly good job, you decided to tip us, that would be a different story.
We have no rights to make any demands.
And he'll kind of wag a finger at Dr. Beck. See, I knew you were the one that knew the score. But your answer was good too, intern. Real polished, real practiced. And he'll look at the other two, between Ashton and Sharky. We got some folk down at the airport causing us a bit of bother. And then he'll stop for a moment. And he'll look like he's considering something. And he'll point specifically to you, Anne. Do you know the Spider-Man?
Doesn't ring a bell.
Oh, you'd know him if you knew him. Old feller, kindly like beef jerky. Got a bunch of real big 8-legged friends follow him around everywhere he goes. There is no mistaking. There is no mistaking this description as the hidden friar Vidal Santiago.
Ian's still not going to let on that he knows who Vidal is.
Okay. Good call. Then Holt will clap his hands, rub them together a bit. Makes no never mind to me. We'll find out soon enough if you do. But we got some particularly distasteful roses hole up in the airport. Now, if you could convince them one way or another to be gone, well, that would definitely help us out a great deal. We're clearing out the old court, making sure that we've got fertile ground for what comes next.
And if you're where you say you're from, your city's got right practice for moving courts, doesn't it? Especially princes and whatnot.
Well, if you don't mind me asking, what does come next?
And the man just smiles. Well, movements of all kinds crop up. But what comes next is freedom. Without all the bowing and the scraping, begging for scraps. Here we can have our own little slice of freedom. This will be
Sounds like
easy
some-
enough. This is anarch rhetoric, if you've ever heard it.
Sounds like some exceedingly coastal vibes, if you ask me.
Do any of you have Kindred iconography by any chance?
I keep being told I should take it, but no.
It's a good lore sheet. Y'all should take it.
It's a great lore sheet. I can highly recommend it, but like I'm not going to tell you how to spend your XP. Actually,
I do remember.
there's one of you I'm surprised doesn't have it. Mr. Vanguard.
Did you say you had the lore sheet, Dr. Beck?
No, I was just saying that I do remember from last session that we'd seen the signs of their symbols all around and had it explained to us a bit.
I do have a question, though. Movements come and movements go. Do you consider yourself more of a Garcia fan or McNeil?
There is kind of a chuckle from Holt that almost disarming, well, ain't that cute kind of chuckle. I don't have much time for music these nights. But I do find myself getting more and more into philosophy. Specifically Kropotkin. Ian, if you want to give me we will call this an intelligence and awareness while you're regarding Holt. Okay. He's got various patches and pins on his vest. But you do happen to settle on one that, well, you've dealt with all manner of political beliefs in your unlife. And there is definitely some anarchist, communist vibes going on with some of the iconography the man's got on him. And with his mention of Kropotkin, it would not be a difficult jump to conclude what clan he's from. You are most likely dealing with a Bruja. Not necessarily one of the in the street raging types, but the more cerebral of his clan.
You have more than roses as competition, don't you, sir?
Oh, we got all sorts of competition, but thankfully, and he'll kind of flick a chin over at Sharky, his family don't seem to be too interested in us just this yet.
I'm not necessarily talking about someone who might share the same political alignment with you. There was another name that I heard mentioned. Not a rose. Not one of your own.
I know, look. And what name's that?
I believe it was Perkins.
And he'll look over at the dark-haired woman, and his hands will flex.
You know, Amanda.
We do our research.
Yeah. Miss Perkins is the sole Blueblood left here in our fair city. Personally, I'd love to see her head on a pike. Her family and I don't exactly see eye to eye.
I understand that more than you know. But I find it interesting that you wouldn't even bother to mention her.
We're more worried about the active agitators. She's been a nuisance, sure. But we got eyes on her. For now. She's not a problem. Y'all can feel free to incite that if you want.
Sharky's inciting it.
Yeah, so is Ashton.
May I blood search?
If we're not directly in combat, you can feel free to blood surge, friend.
Also, how are you going to let me roll in the wrong dice channel?
I was gonna say something, but like, but yeah, the channel you've been rolling in is for our one shots. It's okay. These things happen.
There's a there's a wrong dice channel? Is it the one?
There's
Oh, I see it.
the one in the one shot category.
I see.
And I have some rolling to do myself.
Yeah, I was gonna say, let me know if I need to make some rolls too.
Yes, you do.
Okay. All right. When do y'all need me rolling?
Your SPC has been given an assignment. How would your SPC like to respond to that assignment?
Yeah. Hang on. I didn't exactly have time to build the sheet, so I'm like,
Okay. Meets it, beats it. Ooh, this man lying. Ooh, this man lying through his teeth.
Ashton is just going to look at Holt directly. Well, if it ever becomes a time that she becomes too much of a problem, you could always at least ask me to lend a hand. I'm not going to speak for the rest of my coterie.
And he'll just look you up and down and give a nod. Before he kind of settles back into place.
I don't want to tell you how to run your business, sir. But dark moves are still moves, whether you have eyes on her or not. And what you don't see is going to hurt you far more than what you do.
It's always the snake under the cover of darkness that tends to get you.
All right. Well, and she'll stare directly at Sharky. Let's make this game a little more interesting. And the cards will like flash back, forth, and then a pair of 3 cards will land in front of Sharky. You do this, and we'll say you do it well. I'll owe you 2 minors, we'll call it, to get you whatever you want around here. You fuck up, however, I get to say your name's dog shit to everyone I know.
So you want us to remove some an eviction?
An
Well,
eviction, a little less public than what you did to Fairchild.
But we're going to be wanting proof that they're not around anymore, you see.
Put your money where your mouth is, Blueblood.
I'm no
Hey,
Blueblood. But
Hey, Sharky,
mm,
how does that make you feel? Because that's twice now. 2 different people have implied that you are a Ventru.
it doesn't make Sharky angry. Sharky, they're not sitting. So what I would say is that Sharky leans back in a chair, but that's not what he can do. But Sharky just stands there. He puts his hands in his pockets. I'm no Blueblood, but honestly, I'll take it as a compliment that you think so lowly of me that I can exceed your expectations.
You taking the challenge or not?
I can make certain I can get him evicted, but I got to make sure the rest of my coterie is fine with it. We all down?
My name's not getting put in the pile for dog shit, but you can do that if you want.
I mean, we're gonna do it either way, so if you want to wager that, that's on you, bud.
You have my help.
2 minors. And you never call me a Blueblood again.
You got a deal, soft hands.
You will see the man Holt reach into his coat, and he pulls out what looks like a small silver coin, and he flips it over to Ian.
Catch the coin.
Go ahead and give me an intelligence and academics, please. If you have a history specialty, you may add it. Is anyone curious as to what proof this trio requires, or are we just going to kind of?
Sharky is gonna ask, "What do you want as proof? Ashes, strand of hair, a signed eviction notice?"
You don't have to deliver final death, if such is not your desire.
Hmm.
But the proof we need. And she's going to pause and stare directly at Sharky. Open her mouth again, and her fangs are extended. Almost brutally so. And her voice, the squeaky whisper that she introduced herself with. Teeth!
A proper rose would rather die than give up those, so either way, what you're asking for is final death. But I think you guys already are aware of that, so
Uh, Ian, as you look down at this coin, it is unmistakable. This was currency once used in Carthage. Now, you show that to just about anybody who looks like they are down and out, and they will know you are working for me. Don't flash it too often, or the wrong sort might get the right idea. But just about anybody not holed up in some place secure is a safe bet. The haves have been worried about reprisals, with good reason.
It's a beautiful place from what I understood. I'll pocket it. Wish I could have seen it in person.
Does anybody care to pick up the cards that were dealt to Sharky?
Those are for Sharky. I'm not touching those.
He don't want his
So-
cards.
So wise, so learned.
And this is why we all love Dr. Beck.
Yeah, I should have eyed them, but he's not going to touch them.
Oh, fellow ST, were they dealt face down or face up?
You said like what? The place kind of turned into rubble. So they're like, I will
Yeah,
say
like-
there is a little rock that is kind of domed them a little, but they are face down.
Okay. Sharky, do you want to pick up your cards?
Sharky's gonna flip them side over one by one like you would tarot cards.
As you flip them over, you see the Wheel, the Fool, and the Ace of Pentacles.
A free reading, I didn't even pay you.
Well, you know what they say. Your types always think money comes by learning and never working, so hopefully this might help you get some free advice for once.
My types. All right.
I'm
Sure.
adhering to what you asked. Gots to be more specific if you're wanting other things off the table.
Have I ever mentioned how much I love anarchs?
And
You
Holt
always-
will just grin that wide, toothy grin.
It's been a while since I've had someone who's willing to actually say something back.
Oh. I know normally they just fluff your ass and kiss it.
Yeah. Before I rip their heads off.
Normally, I just knock them over the head, but
Well, you got your work. You got your mark. There anything else you find folks desire or require?
I don't have a desire, nor do I require. But, Miss Hush, might I ask for permission to have a look, see if there's anything that can be done about that awful injury that you have? I'm a doctor, medical doctor.
It can't be healed like that.
There's some things that
Magic was
can
used to
possibly.
make it. Like what?
I know some people that dabble in that stuff. If I can get a gander at it, I might be able to get their insights on how to help you.
Well, ain't that just grand?
As a medical
She is
professional,
just
it
going to
bothers me.
And Hush is just going to clench her fists together and just stare at Holt.
The reaction is not one of admonishment or shame. He just coolly looks over at Hush before looking back at the three. Right. Well, if you'll excuse us. And he's going to stand up off of the wire spool that he was sitting on before offering an arm to both of the femme individuals.
If you get an opportunity in the next few coming nights, I'd love to chat music with you.
Tell you what, you make it out the airport in one piece, we'll sit down, we'll have ourselves a nice little chat.
I look forward to it.
And Hush is just going to look over at Dr. Beck. And once again, that squeaky sort of too much breath but no movement voice. After!
Dr. Beck will nod and set his card down somewhere where Hush can see him setting it down. My number.
And Dr. Beck gets a nod. Just one.
Lorelei will nod at each one. Pretty boy, intern, doctor, your gentryship before taking the offered arm and walking out.
Leaving the three of you, or the four of you, once again alone here in what is the lightly charred and ruined former Elysium of the Lehigh Valley domain. Yes, alone.
So is this where it happened? Turn to Ashton.
Oh no. That was back home.
Yeah. Once they're gone, Ashton does want to go look at the tarot cards. Yeah, and as he's doing so, he's gonna be talking to Ian. Yeah, we threw a party, and needless to say, did not end well at all by the end of the night.
I thought it ended like a fun time, but apparently punching someone into torpor is too violent and we should stake them.
And that is how it got there.
And it actually happened that way.
Yes.
You realize that sounds like a story to everyone who hears it, right?
Oh, I am aware. I am absolutely aware. But honestly, at the end of the day, the guy was a tool shed and a half. Will not be missed.
Dr. Beck's going to reach in his satchel, pull out a map, and start studying it, like finger tracing the roads, trying to figure out how to get from where he is to where he needs to go.
And to be fair, Victoria Ash was there. So, she didn't, we have a pretty sizable witness.
Strange how many people say that like it matters.
But it does.
To some.
To the people who were going to be the ones to keep me alive because of it, yeah.
Sure. Dr. Beck, you wouldn't happen to be a dentist, would you?
Medical doctor. No, but I can. We can talk about that later. Anyways, we should probably figure out a route that way and formulate a plan.
I'll have my security bring the car around.
How many are we talking?
If I had to take a guess, if it's roses in this old city, it's probably not all of them. A good number of them already left. So probably whichever ones are more combat oriented have probably hold up. I wouldn't expect them to be the more. The socialites probably already fled.
More than likely. And Ashton is looking at the tarot cards intently.
Looking at the tarot cards, go ahead and give me let's call this an intelligence and resolve.
Okay. Three.
Very good. There is an intricate border on each of the cards,
Mm-hmm.
but as you look at them, along the bottom edge, the border on the bottom edge of each of the cards contains a different piece of information worked into the pattern.
She's one of them bitches. Got it.
You see Northampton County Jail on one, Eastern Wall on another, and Loose Brick on the third.
Their direction.
It's like a little treasure map.
It is not difficult to discern that this is where they want you to deposit their proof when your job is done.
Okie dokie. Well, I know where our drop-off point's gonna be.
Let's discuss the rest of this in the SUV. It's too public here.
I agree with that.
Sharky, you can pick those up? I know this place is littered already, but shouldn't just
It's a gift. Don't
leave
turn
your
down.
litter.
He picks them up and he puts them in a jacket pocket. I'll return them with as there are directions, I'll return them with our evidence. I have a plan. And he starts moving the direction of wherever security Thin Blood would have parked the SUV.
Follow out with Sharky.
I'm not footing it, so yeah.
Yep, Ashton's following.
Once we're inside the SUV, Sharky's gonna give. I keep forgetting the name that we give him. I'm gonna call him Reginald. He's gonna give Reginald the like around the block a few times signal just to keep going so they can discuss. Keep
And
things erratic.
Reginald Buttersleeves just glides away from the sidewalk once y'all are in.
So they're holed up in the airport. This is not as secure a location as they may assume. It's a place of power, but as a haven, as a domain, controlling it, wise choice. Holding up there, poor one. I have contacts in the baking industry, a lot of influence. People who coming through would mean people who landing in the airport would mean the TSA would increase their presence almost immediately. Call in a few favors with my contacts. TSA will boost its presence immediately, forcing them out. From there, we catch them off guard outside of their safe haven. Cut them down like butter.
Is that what we really want to do? We can fake it.
We can fake
if
it.
you want.
The
I'm Just asking.
Either way, they need out of that airport.
Oh, yes. No, I agree on that. I was just talking about the after the out.
We have something better that we could offer them. This doesn't have to come to any sort of fisticuffs. They're holed up in that airport. Like you said, holed up because they're afraid of Holt. They're afraid if they put their heads up, it's going to get chopped off. We give them safe passage in exchange for their teeth. Done and done.
Or something that can be made into teeth.
True. They don't know we have a fleshcrafter among us, not fully, anyway. But once they do, it'll become more suspicious.
Which is why we do it in secret.
Then we go in and ask for the pound of flesh.
That
Either
one would be
way,
easier, but yeah.
won't put us on the line. Now, I understand, Sharky, you want to flex yourself a little bit. And if we need to make a statement, I think you should feel more than, well, welcome to make that statement.
The problem is, they're expecting us to make a statement. If we do this the diplomatic route, they may be less inclined to let us in on their plans in the future.
That's not the read that I got off of Holt. He's empire building.
It's not Holt who I'm concerned about. Those three, they're acting together.
Of course they are.
The tarot reader wants violence. She's got something against him.
Or she wants you to think she wants violence. One of the best ways to deflect who we are from each other is to pretend to be something we're not. The weak pretend to be powerful. The meek, well, they pretend to be strong. Often it's the reverse.
I say we tried the diplomatic route. Sharky be on standby. Also, I am 99% sure if we yank their fangs, they'll grow back, right?
Oh, absolutely.
In time.
Why don't y'all give me an intelligence and occult?
Ooh, I'm okay at that.
I can do that.
That's not bad for Sharky. Not great, but not bad.
Okay.
Do I potentially add anything to that?
If you have any kind of kindred specialty, feel free to add that.
Okay.
For your occult, so kindred history or
I was thinking more on the medicine side of it. That's why I was asking.
Not on this one. Because
understandable.
kindred and
that's why I asked.
Kindred physiology is ever so slightly different from what you would learn in a textbook. Okay.
1
is the loneliest number. Okay. So we will start with our 1. You've never heard a story of a kindred forcibly having their fangs removed, or even willingly having their fangs removed. you couldn't, like, if somebody told you that they'd grow back, there's nothing there for you to, like, tell if they were bullshitting, telling the truth, knew what they were talking about. It's just, you would take it at face value. For my 3s, there is nothing to say whether they would grow back or not. Like, you're kind of working on assumption. My 5, there are very specific situations where those fangs would not grow back. Seal the brand, Fleshcrafting, these sort of things. If you just took a pair of pliers and yanked out their fangs, they'd grow back. That is just the nature of things. But if their fangs are supernaturally removed or supernaturally prevented from growing back, they will not grow back. It is effectively like starving a kindred.
They will absolutely grow back. They'll have to learn how to use a razor blade for a short amount of time, but eventually they'll have use of their teeth again.
All right, that's good. Good to hear. So they might actually be willing to go through with this then. We just have to convince them of that.
Shouldn't be too difficult. Again, we're offering safe passage away from Holt and the threat that he is.
For a minor inconvenience at best, depending on their skill.
The problem is, we're going on the assumption that they're not sticking out their heads because they don't believe themselves to be contenders. Others left, they stayed. They had the opportunity to leave. Maybe not without being harassed, but they had the opportunity. They've had the opportunity. So why did they stay?
Especially being in an airport.
Well, that's part of what we got to find out, which is why we tried the diplomatic thing first. If that doesn't work, blow them up. We've already said that is the course of action.
We're walking
Agreed.
into a lion's den.
No, we're walking
Have
into
you
a
no
ant
faith?
battle.
I think here is a good point to take a 10-minute break, go get some water, some snacks, use the bathroom, unshrimp. We will come back to join our emissaries in 10 minutes and see how they tackle this sticky situation. I will see you all in 10 minutes. And we are back. I hope everybody had a good break. I hope we were able to unshrimp, hydrate, grab beverage, whatever. But we are now back in it again. And I believe our storyteller for the evening has a question for everyone.
So, I was curious. Sharky, what did you make of our strange trio?
Ambitious. He's very intrigued. He thinks that the three are poorly equipped to lead. Like most Bruja, it seems like his ambition is outstretching his actual skill.
Okay, you're talking about Holt.
Holt, yeah. The other two see he hasn't got a read on Hush yet. The other one, Lorelei, she seems to be a little bit of the one sort of pulling Holt's strings a little bit, and they seem to be working together as a team, the three of them. But Holt's the figurehead, whereas she's the one who's actually moving things, it looks like, to Sharky. So, as she was the one who actually... Holt was just playing around. He wasn't actually going to ask him to do anything. Then she offered moons, which meant that she's actually the one who's invested in getting this done, not really Holt.
That is a fair read. How about you, intern?
Well, it's been proven over and over again in Kindred history that Trinities make for the best leaders. And if this is the case, and this power throuple is what they appear to be, Ian wishes them all the luck in the world, but thinks that they're going to need some help to get where they want to go.
Power throuple is, I think, the best way you could have described them.
Yeah.
Power trouble.
Our socialite, Mr. Vanguard.
Holt seems pretty arrogant, and he really hopes Lorelei or Hush are the actual one in charge. Like, he seems all talk, no actual drive to get it done. And Ashton is a person who doesn't mind causing a ruckus to get shit done, and doesn't like when people beat feet around about trying to get shit done. So, and Ashton's going out of his way, regardless of why he went out of his way, to offer up to help them get the domain for themselves as the anarchs. Like, don't waste my fucking time, loser.
Very subtle, very subtle. Hey, Dr. Beck, what'd you make of the power throuple?
I think it's funny that both of them were constantly checking in to see what Hush's opinion was. Yeah, no, Hush is definitely leading the charge, and they're both following directions. Holt is supposed to make you think that he's arrogant, that his ambitions are bigger than what his capabilities are. That's supposed to be the misdirective. I forgot her name. The other female.
Laura.
The tower
Lorelei.
leader.
Yes. Also, she's supposed to pick at, bite down, find weaknesses. Scratch at the surface to see what irritates. She's dissecting everybody. But they're constantly checking back in with Hush. Hush is giving them directions. At least that's from my perspective, what I'm picking up. Because Hush stayed with us, for the most part, quiet the entire time, unless directly spoken to.
That's a fair read. So now we're all going to the airport to do what we do.
Did we get Sharky's read, or am I huffing glue?
Sharky was number one.
He was the first one who went, I know you may be huffing the goo.
I am
hard.
huffing glue. I've got a lot of moving parts and pieces behind the camera. But okay, yeah, so off to the airport. The Lehigh
What's the
Valley.
plan, guys?
So, Sharky's going to propose we meet in the middle. We don't approach. We approach diplomatically, but we go ahead and set the wheels in motion that will increase the increase. I almost said the FAA. That's not right. Increase federal presence in the
TSA.
airport. TSA.
Yep.
Increase federal presence in the airport, so that way they know that it's coming, and they know that sooner or later they're going to have to leave. We swoop in, we give them a way out that's going to be safer for them than actually trying to fight their way out when that happens. So we give them a warning, and we make it so that saying is not an option, and we go ahead and we give them that out. Not necessarily letting it see that it's us per se that's doing it, maybe alluding to the fact that it's Holt doing it because they already know he wants him out.
I think it's smarter to say that it's us doing it so that they feel safer coming out. Specifically, Mr. Ashton over there.
If we're increasing the TSA presence, they're going to see that as an attack. It needs to be.
Oh, yeah, true.
It needs to be seen as it's coming from a third party, and we were able to detect it when we're coming in.
We can do both. They don't need to know that it's us.
Exactly.
And if need be, I am pretty good at lying, so.
If you're
That's
very
why-
good at lying, you could be very good at talking them right out of their teeth.
Mm-hmm.
Just how good are you?
We'll find out, I guess. Hasn't failed me yet.
I say we walk into the lion's den. At least two of us. We make them the offer. They don't take the offer. We start ramping up pressure. Sharky, you can put that pressure on. They don't need to know the pressure's coming from us. They can imagine it's coming from Holt. We're just here to give them an out. They don't take it right away. We come back. Give them a second chance. Then we ramp the pressure up more.
For Kindred, we have time.
There's no reason to be fast about this.
Hear me out. Let's meet in the middle, because I don't think it would be a good idea for what's trying to be done in this city to then have an increased presence of TSA in the airport.
It would be temporary. The point is,
It's
with
very easy in my experience with anarchs that those things that to most Camarilla would be temporary tend to inadvertently become permanent for one reason or another. So hear me out. Hear me out. Let me see if I can slither my way in to make them believe we're going to do it the first go round. If that doesn't work, then we actually do it.
That's what I was suggesting.
that's what
Addendum to that, make sure they believe Holt is going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I should not be there.
Nope.
I need to be on the back end. I look
We're going
like the
with
kind.
We go in to offer help, just like we went into Holt. We tell them we're going to help them. I don't know if the rest of you have made up your mind yet, but to me, I like the three of them. I like the way they walk. I like the way at least two of them talk. So I'm willing to back them. We haven't even met with the others. But if you definitely want to nix the roses, then we start putting pressure on them sooner rather than later.
I think the roses are. I think we should. I think the roses are too unstable. They'll generally, when roses get into power, they find something to occupy their time, some new obsession. And we need stability. Even anarchs are going to be more stable than roses in power.
My mileage varies, but at least what I've seen here, I can agree with you. Philadelphia roses seem very unstable.
I
They have
mean, at least three of you have met Laurent.
That is a very different kind of unstable.
Just
Hold up.
because one rose would make a good prince, that does not mean any other of the roses that we've met in the city would.
Do you want Laurent on top, huh, Sharky?
Ooh,
Also, don't tell
Sharky
Laurent that his head
Shay.
already can't do the Grand Haven.
That sounds like a problem when the sun comes up. If your head can't fit in the Clan Haven, then your head's gonna shrink one way or another.
But as we're kind of formulating our game plan, we're slowly winding our way through the Allentown, Bethlehem, Easton area, making our way to the Lehigh Valley International Airport. Traffic is light. It is the middle of March. It is precisely March 20th, 2025. And there is not a lot going into or coming out of this particular airport. I hesitate to call it a city because it's more of a conglomeration of small towns. It's very difficult to know where one begins and the other ends. But as you get to Lehigh Valley International Airport and you pile out of the SUV, why don't you all go ahead and give me a wits and awareness? Airport? I'm not going to the airport.
The airport.
Yeah.
The airport. Oh no! Oh no! I'm gonna spend a point of willpower.
Yeah, I would. Okay.
Woo!
Oh, whew.
That was almost really bad.
That was almost really bad.
You went from a bestial failure to 3
Jesus.
successes.
Jesus. God hates me tonight.
All right. So, as usual, I am going to start with my single success. This is certainly an airport. It is a it says international airport on the sign, but like
Yeah.
this definitely has more of a regional airport feel.
It is the most airportiest airport that ever airported the airport.
Oh yeah. My 3 successes. You can tell that the grounds are currently in a process of being beautified. The flower beds and the green spaces are freshly worked over. There is nothing in bloom just yet because we are in March, but it definitely looks like this area is in process of being revitalized, refreshed, renewed, awaiting the wider thaw and the bloom that is coming in the next few weeks. My 4th success, you would notice more of those ever so subtle kind of almost like hobo glyphs here and there that seem to lead you into the airport, but not through security and into the terminals proper. It leads you back into the maintenance hallways, the back rooms of the airport, as it were. Security here is suspiciously light before you get into the terminals proper. It is almost as though the lack of security is by design. And every so often, dotted through the airport, you will find just a rose mosaic that looks like it's been freshly installed in the concourse, or a little bit of chalk that kind of points your way, winding through to what looks to be a disused maintenance tunnel that leads deeper under the airport.
I'll loop my arm through Ashton's and lead him along the trail of those glyphs that I'm spotting.
Ian and Sharky, are you going to follow where it almost looks as though Beck knows the way to go?
Sharky said that he wanted to hang back and not be involved. I would rather him not potentially be alone. So I'll hang back with him.
So y'all are going to hang out on more of the concourse area?
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna keep an eye out. Sharky's gonna be specifically looking for potential entrances, exits, in case the two need to make a quick getaway, where we're gonna need to secure to get them out in time.
Okay. It is not difficult to spot these things. You are, after all, in an airport. Everything is very clearly marked and labeled per laws and regulations. So you have no difficulty seeing the entrances, the exits, where security is thicker. There's the ticketing counters, etc. So it is with your 3 successes, it's not difficult at all to know where you need to go and what route you would need to take if you needed to beat feet. But since we are going to split the party, We are going to follow with Ashton and Dr. Beck as you head into these maintenance tunnels that lead you deeper under the airport. Lehigh Valley International Airport has been the subject of a great deal of rumors, conjecture, and conspiracy theories. There are some that call it the Denver International Airport of Pennsylvania. It looks small and unassuming on the surface, but there are miles of sprawling tunnels beneath, some of them dating back to before the Cold War. And as you move deeper through these tunnels, the light grows dimmer. It is not dark, but there is a noticeable lack of glaring overhead fluorescent light. Things begin to get a bit softer. Soon you find yourself passing tapestries and cushions as though someone has made their home here. But before too long, you hear a voice from a bit deeper down the hallway. This very high-pitched, melodic voice. And I will leave that to my fellow ST. Go ahead, Fennec.
Yeah. So what you guys hear coming down the hallway is like, like, oh my gosh, visitors! Ah, we haven't had visitors in forever. Ah, come in, so I can introduce you.
Ashton trods his way on with Beck.
I'm sorry, John. I gave you aggravated willpower damage in real life.
Oh my god, I was not expecting Finn to do a Valley Girl accent on my 2026 bingo card, but here we are!
It's almost like I lived in California for like so many years and like totally perfected this.
I hate it. Well done. Well done.
Okay. All right. So as you all make your way in, there is a very she looks to be stunning. Her hair, the brown ringlets perfectly pulled back, light makeup, but yet just enough to accent all their features. And they are standing near a chair. It is a very Einar, you would say there's like a raised dais there that's been hastily covered to look not so constructed.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. And you know, she will prance forward on very high heels and clear her throat. And who do we have in His Grace's territory tonight?
A friend. Pleasure to make your acquaintance.
A pleasure. Harpy Butcher at your like total service and everything, but and she'll kind of lean in. I like really need your names so like I can introduce you to His Grace properly. We are in a court after all. Like duh.
My name's Ashton.
She'll kind of slow nod like of clan
Toreador.
a cousin. Oh my gosh. We'll have to do a mani-pedi later. And
Absolutely.
you. She'll turn to Beck.
Beck will just mutely look up at Ashton, just mute, not say anything, and then look at her, and then back to Ashton. While hanging on Ashton's arm like a little sycophant.
Oh my gosh, is this like your purse puppy?
Sure.
That is just like so amazing when people are like progressive enough to bring their I guess the venture would say their help with them. It totally brings an outfit forward, you know?
Oh, well, thank you.
You're welcome. And like trigger warning for dehumanization here, but she is clearly thinking Beck is now your ghoul.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and she will turn around to the gentleman who is up there and go, Your Grace, Prince Ducard, may I introduce our cousin, Ashton of Clan Toreador, and his accessory. And she'll step back to let him talk.
The man on the dais is in a crisp tan suit, dark undershirt. His mustache is thin, almost pointed. I have included a picture of him in your coterie chat so you can get a better idea of what he looks like. A small strip of facial hair along the chin. And he steeples his fingers together and looks you over. To what do I owe the honor of such esteemed guests in my court?
Thank you, Your Grace. I was just coming because I heard a rumor that there may be increased presence of TSA in this airport, and to offer you a way out before that inevitably becomes the mess it always does.
Ducard leans back in his chair, this finely crafted micro throne. And he looks you over. The TSA are a problem, certainly. But how exactly is it that you came about this information? And he holds his hands up and he says, this, after all, is my domain.
When this may be your domain, Your Grace. However, assets can easily be dealt with and traded. Anyone can get a hold of enough influence, if skilled enough, to make those big changes.
Go ahead and give me a charisma and etiquette, please.
Said charisma and etiquette?
Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna blood surge on this. Boop-boop-be-doo.
If I may ask for John, does he get his pretty?
Oh yeah, do I get my pretty?
Yes. Yeah, this is a social roll, so you do get your pretty.
Oh, thank God he's hot. Why am I like this? Where'd the thing go? There it went. Okay. Then we're gonna blood surge. What blood potency am I at? Is it 1 or 2? I'm at 2. Oh, let's go. I'll take the hunger on that. That's 8 with a crit.
Okay. That is... He regards you. There is almost this look of amusement on his face. He does not seem like he is stirred to anger or emotionally aroused in any way. So I would be correct in assuming, as he looks you over again, that you're referencing Holt and his menagerie.
Ashton rolls his eyes, and it would be obvious that he's not rolling his eyes at the prince. He's rolling his eyes at the mention of the name Holt. Like, you know what I mean?
with that amount of successes, it is obvious that he's rolling
Yeah.
his eyes at Holt and not at the prince.
Yeah, absolutely. Just wanted to clarify for the room. Yeah, I'm not sure how they managed to pull that off, but if they did, I would rather give my family a fair warning before something happened.
I assume you have not come strictly out of familial bond. And he kind of leans forward. But I do. I do suppose I owe you a minor debt of gratitude.
Of course.
After all, I would not occupy my throne were it not for your direct intervention.
Well, that was purely lucky as far as that goes, Your Grace.
This draws an odd. Almost as if he is unsure of what to make of that comment.
Mm-hmm.
Luck, you say?
Well, in your case, it was luck. I had no idea staking him would do that. I don't think I would have.
He just kind of reaches up, and twists his mustache for a moment. And we are going to hold there. We are going to swap over to Ian and Sharky. Ian, Sharky, could both of you please make a wits and awareness for me?
This is gonna not go good one of these days. But not today!
Okay.
4.
Okay. This is the difficulty on this was not too terribly high, but I'm going to start with my one success. Ian, yep, it's an airport. You've been in one, you've been in a million. It is a dirty, dusty, antiquated, run-down regional airport. Sharky. You've seen your fair share of airports as well. But the one thing that you've never noticed at a lot of the major airports is just how many people sporting rose tattoos you see milling about. Always subtle, always placed just behind the left ear, like one would mark a ghoul. Some of them wear security uniforms. Some of them wear maintenance outfits. Some of them are at the ticketing counters. Some of them appear as though they are travelers. But you suddenly get the idea that you are surrounded by Toreador ghouls.
It's too public for them to make a scene. So they're not going to. But the fact that there's so many proves a problem. So long as we remain mostly under wraps. It's a we've got some protection of being above ground. Obviously, Sharky's not saying this out loud. For all purposes, this is Chandler analyzing the situation.
I appreciate that clarification, but I kind of figured.
Yeah, yeah, but you know, I wanted to make sure. Sharky's gonna kind of give an eye to Ian. Just look around, spot one of the security guards, and he's gonna try to make a nod with his head to Ian, of like rose tattoo. Whether or not Ian sees it is a different story, but like just another one, just counting with his head. And if Ian picks it out from Sharky's pointing out, then that's good. But he's kind of tried to make it as subtle as he can.
Okay. Go ahead and give me. Let's call this. Let's call this a charisma and dexterity versus Ian's intelligence and awareness.
So I want him to beat me. Okay.
You do want, yes, you do want him to beat you, but you also don't want other people to beat you.
Can I make the argument for dexterity and etiquette?
You can. It will be unsuccessful, but you can.
Okay. I thought I might as well try.
Always worth a shot. Mr. Farrow, do you want to use willpower on that, or are you going to let that ride?
No, Sharky is already proven to be a little twitchy anyway. So I'm not really expecting him to be acting any differently.
Okay. So, yeah. Sharky, you are sneaky. Unfortunately, you're a little too sneaky. And Farrow is just kind of like, hey, maybe switch to decaf? Like,
well, while he is dealing with whatever neurological disorder he might have, I've made a living reinforcing places, securing places. Earlier, this place looked as if it was a little shoddy. I think that's could be being held up here and not being able to be infiltrated by Holt. Bit of a masquerade, for lack of a better word. I'm kind of trying to pick out any areas that are more reinforced than they should be, have more cameras on them than they should, have more security than should be in the area, etc. I mean, if it's just standard regional airport, let's see if there's anything that gives us away.
to most eyes, this would be just any old regional airport. It says international on the sign, sure, but this is, but to your eye, because of your expertise and because of your experience, I'm not even going to make you roll for this one. You know a facade, a front, when you see one. This is crafted specifically to borrow the parlance from Hitchhiker's Guide. This seems cloaked in someone else's problem. The eye just kind of slides off of so much here. But you can tell by placement of cameras, security personnel, what even down to what lights flicker and what lights do not. That this entire building is a carefully crafted facade designed to hide what is going on beneath it. This is not something that was hastily cobbled together in a night. This was a contingency plan. Someone has been carefully laying the groundwork here for decades to make this not a bolt hole, but a covert seat of power. This would rival even some of your family's own machinations.
So Martin Bailey. Okay.
Though, as you look around and you're noticing this and that, there's a lot of money that went into making this place look shabby and unnoticeable. So there is absolutely a financier here. There's a money man behind it all. Because this kind of Mott and Bailey does not come cheap.
Mm-hmm.
There is, and it does smack of your fellow clansmen. This is something that a venture would put together. Roses, they are so ensconced in their art that they very rarely think of strategy. They very rarely think of things like soft power. Whoever is residing beneath this airport, they're not the ones that built this. This stinks of Ventrue forethought. And while you simmer and ruminate on that, two questions. One, Sharky, do you verbally share what you know with Ian?
Absolutely not. There's Toreador ghouls all around here, and some of them might have heightened senses. That's the worst idea I could possibly have.
And second question, Mr. Farrow, are you going to communicate to Sharky, whether it be a text message, verbally, are you going to communicate to Sharky what you observe?
No, not until Ashton and Dr. Beck get back. No reason to put them in risk.
Excellent, excellent. So with that, we are going to slide our way back to Ashton and Beck. The two of you have been chatting with Prince Ducard. He is, by all rights and measures, a perfectly poised, polished Toreador. I would, however, like both of you to give me a wits and insight, please. Okay. Okay. Ashton, you are. This guy is the real, the genuine article. He is a prince in his own right. He is the clear continuation of Camarilla governance here in the Lehigh Valley. He holds himself like a prince. He talks like a prince. Everything about him is what he, it's what it says on the tin. Dr. Beck. Oh, buddy, you know a puppet when you see one. He may say all the right things, he may dress the right way. But just like you had that read on Holt, you are almost certain that this man, they may call him Prince. They may treat him like a prince. He may sit on a throne on a dais and issue orders. But this man is no fucking prince.
Dr. Beck's still feigning their sycophantic movements. Just going to lean into Ashton more and hug their arm. And in the hugging of the arm, while covering one hand with the other, trace the shape of a crown on his arm and then draw a slash through it.
Okay. Give me a dexterity and subterfuge.
Got you. I can do that.
I want to give a help die by once Beck leans in close.
Go for it.
Trying to add extra cover, like she's saying something private to him.
Okay, yeah. Feel free, Dr. Beck, to add a help die.
Okay.
And you know what? Roll one more for me. Just because I'm feeling generous, we're going to give you our first audacity die of the season. Because you were doing this right in front of the prince.
I am.
Okay.
And that one was, yeah. So it's
No
total of
worries.
5.
That is, you are certain that you are being sneaky. And Ducard does not seem to let on that he has seen anything. So, Ashton, Beck, you have communicated, Beck has communicated to you, Ashton, that they do not believe this man is a prince. And it does not appear that Ducard has any knowledge that that has been communicated to you.
Ashton kind of posturing back in a way that someone would with a ghoul, turns back to Deckard, nods his head respectfully. I can only be the messenger in this instance. However, depending on what you decide to do with it, I can make sure you have safe passage out of here. You have my word.
And if I needed safe passage for me and mine, what is the cost?
I have a bit of morbid fascination. Your teeth? They'll grow back in a night.
This puts Ducard all the way back in his chair. His arms cross over his chest. You can see him kind of guarding himself a little bit more. It is at this point that you see a couple of figures stirring from behind the dais. They are not approaching swiftly, but they are subtly making their presence known.
Mm-hmm.
You realize what an ask that is.
I very much am aware, but when the pressure's on and it's on life or death, I am just giving you the options. And I'm not asking for anything more than a back molar. No one would even notice it unless they're right up on you, Your Grace.
You hear the man audibly suck his teeth. So you would ask me to go into exile, sacrifice a piece of myself, and abandon what my family has built here.
I mean, I guess it really is depending on your motivation, Your Grace. When it comes to continuing to be able to start over somewhere else, or to potentially end up dead, and not only risk your own unlife, but put the entirety of the kindred population at risk, that is up to you. I am not here to push you one way or the other. I am just telling you what the offer is for safe passage. That is all.
I have a counter offer. If you are in the mood to entertain an old man.
Oh, Your Grace, I'm always in the mood for negotiations. Makes the world go round.
You bring me the fangs of Holt and his two birds. And I can offer you a very, very comfortable life here, along with a major boon from a Camarilla prince.
What a counteroffer, Your Grace. And he reaches into his back pocket and hands Prince Deckard a business card. And I am with such a great counteroffer. I really would need a minute to think on it.
And
Give me
he would nod at that. Like, of course, you need time to think things over and weigh your options, just like I do.
Of course. Here is my number. We'll be in touch.
And with that, he reaches into his suit and he pulls out this very plain card. It is for what looks to be a company that specializes in import and export of art. For those that are not in the know, the rich love to just kind of move art around for tax purposes.
Mm-hmm.
This seems to be a business that specializes in doing just that. Just moving shipping containers of art all over the country so that rich folk don't get taxed for it.
Crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, the art industry is insane after a certain level. Once you get into a very specific tax bracket, it is less money laundering and more straight up tax evasion.
It's basically legal tax evasion and partially legal money laundering, because a lot of that is
Traded back and forth. Yeah. Almost used as a kind of shadow currency. Yeah. It is insane. But after he hands you his business card, he gives you a soft smile and tells you that for the time being, and until you make up your mind, he is going to offer you hospitality and safe passage in his domain.
Thank you, Your Grace. I appreciate that honor of good faith.
Now, You may wish to rejoin your compatriots on the concourse. They do stand out.
Indeed. Good evening. And he grabs Beck very gently and walks down the hallway and kind of postures Beck, keeping up the facade, even though the facade's probably blown in his mind, to where Beck would be kind of catty corner to him, so Beck could keep an eye out in case somebody tries something behind them, if that makes sense.
You are not followed out. Like, the walk back out to the concourse is uneventful. There is no one following. There is no move for any kind of violence. You are able to rejoin Ian and Sharky. No one seems to be approaching you. It doesn't even look like you're being watched. So now the four of you are back together on the concourse.
Ashton, I'm hungry. Can we go?
Yeah, we can go. We can go.
This way. As Sharky just motions us to get out of this fucking hellhole. This fucking Toreador murder hole.
I'm not in a rush to leave, but I am leaving. Making note of various points of insecurity.
Okay. You would know that no matter how tight security is someplace, there is always going to be a lapse. After all, that is one of your specialties, is finding the holes that people don't know they have in their security nets.
People are always a problem.
People are always a problem, and that problem only grows when you add in complacency, arrogance, things like that. People are always the sloppiest where they feel the safest. So you would note that there is what looks to be an employee entrance off to the side of the main entrance. There is a it looks like a badge in, badge out kind of deal. But the reader pad that normally has that small LED light on it, either red or green, neither of those lights are lit. As you make your way out and back to the SUV. So now that all four of you are back in the SUV, and Buttersleeves has begun moving rapidly away from the Lehigh Valley International Airport, I leave the four of you to discuss.
Mr. Ashton, I am so sorry about that, but I kind of panicked, and it seemed like a good idea at the time.
Next time I'm leaving you with Sharky, Dr. Beck. I'm taking Ian next time. Which might have
I
been
felt
the
like it was a
better
good idea.
So he gave me a counter offer. And I
Were that
have
easy to see through, darling?
no, actually. He knew you two were here.
I am not surprised.
However,
puppet.
someone is clearly puppeteering him.
Yes. Perkins.
Oh. Oh no. Oh.
Interesting. So she's using him as as a puppet, so that way the conflict between Holt, she weakens Holt, she can take the throne after he's after he is removed.
Puppet,
Or just to,
meat shield.
I was
However
going to
you
say,
want
or
to.
just keep up the puppet,
Hmm.
because
All
what's
three of
better
those
than
things.
staying behind the scenes?
Well, as far as I'm concerned, all three of those things could be very well true.
If I know Ventru, they're not going to be content with staying Camarilla Ventru. I know they're not going to be content with staying as the advisor for too long. They prefer to rule openly if they can.
No, they absolutely would attempt to seize power. Soonest opportunity. But,
So,
as Dr. Beck said, it is easier to be the power behind the throne than the throne itself.
Hmm.
The throne is what gets staked and turned to ash. The power behind the throne does not.
True.
yeah, well, it depends, but that's neither here nor there.
So then it can be assumed that Perkins is also involved in this deal themselves.
So, it seems like we really should be, if we're wanting to squash this all in one go after Perkins?
Hmm.
That would allow Holt, Hush, and Lorelei to be truly uninterrupted, and they can do whatever they want with Deckard. Also, there was this chick. I hate California. Why do they all talk like that, y'all?
Up talking, you mean?
Like Valley Girl, like the Valley Girl. Why is that a thing?
It's status symbol of sorts, I suppose. There's also it keeps you interested in what they're saying. Makes it sound like a question. Questions need to be answered. But since it's not a question, they can just keep talking.
It's also bubbly and bright and throws you off guard.
You say something you shouldn't have said because you let your guard down.
I've never liked any of those people that I've ever met. So you know what? Maybe there was a reason.
An affectation to make them appear less intelligent than they actually are.
Boy, do I know about playing dumb.
My personal opinion on what should be done in this situation. I think we should make the moves as planned, increase TSA influence, force them to start either making moves or weaken their hold upon the airport. Put a little bit of pressure. At the very least, follow through on that threat. Not do it ourselves, or not immediately approach them ourselves, but make it clear that they're going to have to make moves. We see what moves they try to make against Holt in the meantime, and then we take the winner. We don't take the winner. We take the loser. Whoever comes out less on top is the one we come after. If it's the Camarilla court, Perkins will seize power directly, and then we'll have a different civil war on our hands, but a more honest one. If it's the Anarchs, then another head will rise up in a few mere moments, but by then we'll have a major boon on a prince, and that will grant us a large degree of influence. If not, if it's the Anarchs, then we'll hold the airport, and we can then threaten Perkins as we need.
We have nothing to threaten Perkins with.
Yet, at this moment.
Even if the airport was taken, we would still have nothing to threaten Perkins with.
Sounds like we need to do some snooping on this Perkins lady.
We need to know more about her. 100%. She is the keystone here. If she is removed, Holt and the Rose will go after each other without having to worry about her potentially biting at their own necks from behind. The question is, what does she want? And why is she still here, given the derelict state of this entire domain?
Because a derelict domain is still a domain.
That
And-
she
and
cannot
all-
be that short-sighted.
And all the better, once it thrives, to grow your own reputation.
Mm.
Derelict domain is only domain due to incompetent management. A defunct business, when applied with the right hand, can become a multi-million-dollar enterprise overnight.
Not if it's in the wrong location. Business is all about location, and this is not one.
True. That is true. But it depends on the type of business.
Side note, Dr. Beck, do you think you could do that thing if I gave you a couple of my teeth?
Potentially, yeah.
To make
Are
them
you-
look good. So here's what I have an idea. The counter offer was that we bring the 3 brew. We know they're all Brujah, right? I don't want to admit to that.
There is no reason for you to believe that they are like you. You got a pretty good idea that Holt's a Brujah.
Mm-hmm.
He talks like a Brujah, holds himself like a Brujah, and
Mm-hmm.
the other two, it would be an assumption at best that they are also Brujah.
Mm-hmm.
But
Okay.
they really could be of any clan.
Yeah. Okay. So you
Except
wouldn't say it like that.
Nosferatu. We're pretty sure they're not
They're not
Nosferatu.
Nosferatu. Yeah.
Yeah, neither one of them were powerful, ugly, nor was there an infestation in their wake. So you can kind of count out Nosferatu, but
Mhm.
outside of that, and you can probably discount Toreador because there does seem to be that clash between Clan Toreador and the others here in this particular domain.
But
Outside of that,
But abstracts are weird.
yeah,
Cards point to mysticism, so there's something there, perhaps.
Yeah.
potential for Malkavian, potential for Tremere, very clearly not Ventru with the way that Holt and Lorelei spoke of the Clan of Kings. They have a very clear disdain for all Ventru. So
Shocking, really.
you've got an idea, but there is nothing concrete. You can, based on what you know about Philadelphia, though, you know that Hush was a classical low clan because only the low clans got that treatment in Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm. Right. So the counter offer was to grab Holt, Hush, and Lorelei's fangs. And I have an idea so we could get that major boon.
If it is found out that we conned a prince out of a major boon, there will be a blood hunt on our heads, Ashton. However, I'm all for it. Let's do it.
We have
The most
time.
difficult part. The most difficult part in tricking them on this would be if they happen to have somebody who can do the woo-woo stuff with the bloods and see that it's not of the people they want it to be of.
Hmm.
This is true. If they have a pet trembler, the jig might be up real quick.
So we just need boons on said pet trembler to say what we need him to say.
Well, we have to find that out first. We're in the planning stages, guys.
You have to trust that
This was
said pet Trembler is doing what they're doing. It's telling you the truth.
I don't know if they have, but if they do have somebody that can do woo woo with the bloods, uh, they would be able to find out that it's not from the party they want it to be from.
Well, we do know they have that nervous, independent man who they could likely con into doing whatever they needed him to do with enough debts that are owed to him because he's nervous and independent. And if one side looks like they may be winning even slightly, he'll probably swear fealty. So we have to assume that there is at least one person who we don't want to cause any harm to in any way, shape, or form that they could go to, and that's a problem. So let's
Dr.
not.
Ball wasn't interested in Holt, so low interested in Holt that Dr. Ball never even gave us his name. I don't think Dr. Ball wanted us to meet with Holt.
I don't think so either. I think he's got a vested interest in the Camarilla, personally. He'd rather see the Camarilla come to control than the Anarchs. More stable, less likely to get in his way with his research, and will leave him alone. The other two candidates, the Ventru, honestly, he counted them as an independent faction, but it seemed like his favorite. But the Toreador are obviously the favorites for power now.
I believe he was also explicit in not electing a Rose.
True.
Could he be working for what's her face?
Absolutely. There's the other Baron we haven't spoke to either.
True.
Looks shaky.
What time is it?
We are very nearly approaching the end of our night. It is getting into the earlier morning hours. Not quite sunrise just yet, but not enough time left in the night to make a third social call, but definitely enough time to carefully plan out our next moves. But as you all head back to the medical center that is serving as your makeshift haven for the time being, that was graciously offered to you by Dr. Ball, there is one question that seems to hang above the night. And that is, in this hodgepodge, this horse race of power, which horse do you back? There is still that other Baron that you need to sit down and speak with to see maybe if they have another offer as well. But it does seem as though the Anarchs might be willing to carve up territory as they see fit, should they be the ones to succeed. And the Camarilla puppet prince has made it quite clear that all of the Lehigh Valley is his, should he be the one victorious. But we are going to close out for a moment on our players. And we are going to shift our scene elsewhere. The sound of high heels on polished concrete echoes through the tunnels beneath the Lehigh Valley International Airport. And a young woman in her mid-20s with short, close-cropped hair in the flapper style approaches Ducard. Are they going to be a problem? No, mistress, I don't believe they will be. But we should still keep an eye on them, all the same. Your opinion has been noted, Ducard. Do not fail me in this. Of course, mistress. And she clicks off. And with that, we shall close out tonight's session of Philly by Night. We're going to go around the table, introduce ourselves, who we are, where we can be found. We are going to start off with Dr. Beck.
Hello, I'm Doss. I play Dr. Beck. You can find me on TikTok, though I don't post, at Doss Brunner, probably 13 at the end of that. Or I'm in the Discord as well. Sharky.
Hi, my name is Chandler. I played Jameson Sharky Knox over here. You can find me pretty much nowhere on the internet. I do have a TikTok. I don't use it. But I am there. You can find some old stuff that I did there ages ago. You can pretty much find me out here on Discord. I do streams in a lot of different places, so you can sometimes find me doing that. I'm going to go ahead, though, and pass it over to Ian.
Hey, yeah, I'm Kyrie. I play Ian Farrow, of course. You can find me on Discord, and if you really want to find me, you can find me on Philly by Night, because that's pretty much the only place I am. I'm going to send it over to Ashton.
Hello, I play Ashton. My name's Johnny Rosewood. You can find me on TikTok at That Nerd Guy. I post occasionally. And yeah, I am here, there, and everywhere. So just be on the lookout. STs, take it away.
We are going to start with our main SPC of the evening, ST Fennec. Take it away for us.
Yo, I am Fennec Lee Wilder. You can find me on just about everything at the Fennec Wolf. You also see me bopping around everybody's table being various SPCs, and pretty soon you'll see my Coterie the Mystery Machine here coming up, so stay tuned for that.
As always, my partner in crime, G'day.
Excuse me, there. You are next. I will close us.
All right, fine. I am Einar. I am the lead storyteller here at Philly by Night, along with being a myriad of SPCs at many different tables, but primarily I lead up the New Guard table here at Philly by Night. You can find me just about anywhere I want you to at Einar_TTRPG, with the exception being Blue Sky, where you can find me at Instar's Orbit. And lastly, but not leastly, my gracious partner in crime.
Now it's my turn, right?
Yes.
As always, I am G'day FX anywhere I care to find me, whether that is G'day_FX for TikTok and Twitch, or G'day FX all smashed together for Blue Sky and the tube of you. I have teenage children. I am literally legally, contractually obligated to say it that way. Doing Hush's voice has killed mine. So thank you to my partner STs. Y'all freaking rock. And as always, just because we play monsters does not mean we cannot be the light in somebody's night, especially while the world's on fire. We'll see you next time.